Hello and welcome to another episode of Let's Edit. My name is Jared Hux, I'm your host, and today I am using Lightroom by Adobe. Let's get started. Now, this handsome fellow that you see in front of you is one of my very best friends in the whole wide world, Mr. Georg. He is the host and owner of StephenPlays and StephenVlog here on YouTube. He has been a good friend of mine for closing in on almost 20 years. So it's been a lot of fun to watch him grow his business through his YouTube channel and watch him go through school and have all these life experiences and even have just the opportunity to have some type of video representation of things that we did as kids up until now when we're adults. I mean, if you go to his channel, you can see everything from him proposing to his wife, his wedding, my wedding, the meeting friends for the first time, or just all kinds of really neat stuff, going to beautiful places all over the world, and it's just a lot of fun to watch. He has a great outlook on a lot of things, and I really enjoy his input. Now, Stephen has always done a lot for me. He's always included me on a lot of things that he did, and it's nice that I can finally include him on something that I'm doing, something that would help him out in some type of way. We did all kinds of different photos, but he told me I could pick any photo for this series, and I wanted to pick a very simple portrait, the same thing that he asked me for right when we first started. I really liked the expression that he has on his face. This is really just very Stephen, and this is what I wanted to start with. So let's go ahead and dive right in. We're in the Develop module here in Lightroom 5, which is what I'm using, and I want to go ahead and start off with a preset. I want to find something that kind of gives me the look I'm looking for. Yes, I could probably do something by hand with no problems, use the curves, blah, 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 but you know what? It's a lot easier and quicker to find something that works and then make it look the way I want it to. So, I've been really digging Fuji 160 and 400H, but today I'm going to go with 160 with a minus on it here. I think that's pull processing. What this does is it kind of lowers the contrast, but it still gives you that awesome filmic kind of look. It's still very warm, as you can see, and we're going to go from this. I really like the expression on his face, so we're gonna really focus in on that today, even though he is completely sharp and has nice light on his face. So we're going to get rid of a few things in the background that are kind of distracting and go from there. And just because it is bugging me, we're going to get rid of these light switches. I shot this at f6.4 with a 56mm, so this does have a good bit of compression on it, but at the same time, it still leaves things discernible. So unless it's just completely blown out of the background and not distracting, it's got to go. So the healing tool works extremely well here in Lightroom. I can pretty much just paste over it. If it's got a solid wall behind, or a solid wall that you can sample from, it's pretty much, a done deal. So this one's going to have a little bit more finesse to it because I don't want to get his shirt inside of this healing. But at the same time, I've got to make sure that I clone enough out to not touch his shirt as well. So I'm going to go ahead and start with the clone tool, and I'm going to paint over right here. Okay, let's get rid of that. I'm going to paint over, and it gets white so you can kind of see where you're going. I'm going to be very careful. I don't have much of feathering on this at all, so this is pretty much just a hard edge, so I don't want to get too awful close to his shirt. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and swoop that out. And like I said, solid wall, so now I've pulled this away from his shirt, so I won't get some kind of weird stretch of a color. So I'm just going to grab this, and what it's going to do, it's already in clone, but I'm just going to let it sample somewhere else and then hit heal, and that'll go ahead and blend things in. As you can see right here, you see this little white spot? That's something I didn't catch, so I'm going to just delete that, and we're going to do it again. So I like to kind of keep it at a good distance. Usually keep the crosshairs around the outside border if I have the real estate to do it, and I do here because there's a huge brown wall that I can work with. So good to go. And now I have two very distracting things completely out of view. So that's great. And let's go ahead and get started in the way I want this to look. So this is actually, I like the way it sits right now, but we're just going to make a few minor adjustments to kind of get it perfect the way I want it. A few things that are kind of signature to the way I shoot, and things that I think would look best for the photo. Now, as I'm editing this, instead of just saying, that I'm hitting contrast or highlights, because you can see what my mouse is doing, I just want to share a little bit about Stephen. Stephen I've known since 2nd grade, when I was 7 years old. And Stephen has always been the one with the camera in the hands. We used to shoot movies and stuff in high school, and he helped me out with a lot of things. You can see me on a lot of his earlier stuff, but usually in very small amounts of detail because I was never around. We didn't really become friends until the latter part of high school, and it was just it was really nice to be able to have a friend that kind of understood, and a person that I can really talk to about everything from personal life to even work and school, because we're in very similar fields. He does videography. That's what he went to school for. So we had a lot in common to work with. And I think the biggest thing that I could say about Stephen is that he kind of inspired me to become a photographer. The reason why is because he was doing YouTube, and he really enjoyed it, and it was starting to take off. And he told me, like, man, this is the time to jump on if you want to try and do something. I'll help you understand a little bit of the intricacies and stuff that you could get started in. But I tried, and I couldn't make it work. Anyway, he talked me into wanting a DSLR camera, because that is what his girlfriend, maybe fiance at the time, had, and I just had to have one too. So I asked for a DSLR for Christmas that year, and that's what I got. And I tried doing video, and I just absolutely suck at it. I am not a videographer. So what I decided to do was just try other things with the camera. It came with 2 lenses. I tried a lot of different things and realized that, photography is kind of for me. Already had a graphic design degree, so I ended up doing a few things with it, and that's why I'm here editing photos today. But it's been a long road. It's been a lot of fun, and I really have to credit Stephen with a good bit of it, because he really showed me that I could do what I want to do for a living and not have to apologize for it at all. Okay, so just bringing up the crop, I didn't think I wanted to crop it at all, and I'm not going to, because I really like how this is framed. He's very symmetrical. For those that don't know, Stephen is 6'6" or 6'5". He's ridiculously tall compared to my short behind, so putting him in a chair and having him sit like this was actually pretty difficult to get something that felt and looked comfortable. So I'm very happy with this shot. It was a lot of fun. I made him do all kinds of silly stuff just to get the expression I want, and I think this turned out very good. So what I'm going to do now, I'm just going to grab my adjustment brush. I've got my pen tool in hand. I'm just going to go ahead and drop this a little bit. We're going to start off at about a half a stop. Let's get here. Okay, about half a stop. And we're just going to, I'm going to bring my brush up a little bit, maybe drop the feathering, or bring up the feathering, there we go. Okay, and we're just going to start painting in, just to kind of see what I can do. I can already tell this is going to be way too dark, so we're going to bring this up a little bit. Okay, basically this would be a style of dodging and burning, just trying to get a little bit of attention away from things that would be drawing away from his face, because this is a portrait. I want the attention to be at his face, so I don't want a big shiny floor, bright shiny floor on the ground in between his legs. That's a little distracting. So I want something that's really going to just bring out his face, and I think that is starting to kind of do it. All right, we're going to dodge and burn just a little bit more. Let's see here. Give me just a regular burn tool. All right. All right, and what I'm going to do, I'm just going to kind of just take in where the shadows already are. I'm just going to bring in a little more. Okay. There we go. There we go. Nothing too bad. Nothing too bad. Okay. There we go. I'm liking where this is going. All right, now really the last thing is I just want to kind of zoom into his face. We're going to do a few things here. I am not a photo retoucher, really. I don't do a lot of skin smoothing or augmentation in any kind of way. So really a lot of what I'm limited to is just, and this is more of a moral standing than anything else. I just don't like making people look like something they're not. And I really just like bringing out the person that I see, and if I don't see that in a person, I'm not going to spend time to make it look like what I think they want to look like. I try to show the person as much as I can. And with such a bright personality and those types of things, I really think Stephen's eyes should have a little bit more focus because you can really tell. He's a genuine person, has a really good time, and if you watch his vlog, you see a lot of his eyes, because the camera's in his face the entire time, and you get a really good study of his face. He's a very kind person. He makes some pretty awesome content, and he's just a ton of fun to watch and listen to. If you'd like to see some of the stuff that I've done with Stephen, maybe I'll put a link or two in the bottom. If you are a fan of Stephen's, you are here, thank you very much for supporting me and what I'm doing and coming to see this video. But finishing up here, I'm just going to drop this a little bit. I don't want them to look ridiculous, and now they look a little illustrated, and I don't want that. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring up the clarity a bit. And that way I'm gaining more out of the shadows. You're going to see more in the detail of his eyes. So zooming it in here, you'll see a little bit more there. But I'm going to bring up the contrast. And what that's going to do is just going to kind of overall darken the detail of his eyes, but still leave a lot of that luminosity there. Okay, I feel very good about that. And I'm pretty happy with that. Okay. All right, I'm going to just try something right here at the end. I'm just going to try and maybe if I were to crop that in a little bit. Yeah, maybe bring him off center. Yeah, actually, I kind of like that better. Well, I said I wasn't going to crop it, but I decided against that. And that's something I actually find a lot. If you see something that you want to change, the good thing about Lightroom is that you can pretty much do anything and fix it again later. Just make sure if you like more than one, make sure to make an adjustment copy or something like that. That way, a virtual copy right here, make sure you make more than one. That way you have more than one option. Like sometimes I like doing a black and white and a color version or a different crop or something like that, and I don't want to overlay what I've already done, so I make sure to make two copies. That way I have two adjustments that I can change and modify in the future if I'd like. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching this. If you'd like to see this photo in better detail, you can check out my blog, which is going to be listed in the description below. Also, if you would, please check out his channel. Stephen's stuff is absolutely hilarious. You'll see me on there a good bit. We hang out a lot, and it's just a lot of fun to see everyday life and through somebody else's eyes. And he has a really cool outlook that I think you guys will enjoy. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. If you would, please subscribe to the channel. That way you can see more of the stuff I have going on in the future. And be sure to comment in the comments below. That way I know what you guys like, dislike, and would like to see more of in the future. Thanks so much for watching, guys. See you next time.